it's changed the world is when there are certain beliefs, there are certain paradigms which are not allowed to be punctured, certain parameters which are set by the matrix in which you must pretend certain things are true. People ignore their own eyes and their own ears because they are afraid of upsetting the matrix. And my point is that a person like you, and I mean this with respect, I'm not here to argue with you, this is a professional debate. A person like you whose entire income, personality, his importance, his ego, everything relies on a Twitch account. If you lose it, you ain't shit. If you lose it, you ain't shit. And the problem is that you could be in 10 car crashes driven by 10 different women, and you will still not come here and say women can't drive as well as men because you are afraid. You are not non-biased. You are sitting here inside of parameters that you must conform to or you don't exist. I don't give a fuck. That's the difference between you and me. That's why I say things other people don't.
I don't.
There's a certain type of mindset that's at war with each other in this current day and age. We've been told to function this way, function that way, and have no independent thought whatsoever. A beta male mindset versus a mindset that's unplugged. And we're going to go over some key points that they discuss in this video right now. So let's get it.
Can't exchange that with money in a transactional way. You just can't. Doesn't matter the amounts. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make me fulfilled. So if the partner can make up for it, whatever they're doing that they're lacking, and they're gonna like reverting it somehow. So I guess we can find some sort of compromise, right? But it wouldn't be about money or be transactional money wise. It just wouldn't.
Brother, life is transactional, my friend.
So one thing that was very evident in this entire discussion is when you talk about a beta male mindset, men with this mindset tend to, when they're having a discussion with a man who's unplugged, they tend to not answer the question. What you saw in this entire discussion, this entire exchange, is Tate gave very clear examples, very clear analogies, and in an attempt to rebut it, QXC or whatever his name is, he would just ramble on and say absolutely nothing. And even in the way, even in his delivery, even in his speech, it's just everywhere. It's panicked. It's uncomposed. They just talk. And you're going to see that in this video. Dude was just talking, no clear points, no concise message, not even, you can't even call these things a rebuttal. Dude was just responding with words. That's about it.
Or you're in love with a woman who decides to do OnlyFans, you can't break up with her. And I have also added another parameter. You want to retain the respect and the authority in the relationship. You think that taking money in said situation is completely unreasonable and unfair. Fine. What is an alternative which is superior? I'm open to hear it. But if I'm in love with a woman and I'm not going to break up with her and she comes with me and she insists on doing OnlyFans, my answer to retain my control and my respect in my relationship is for her to pay me.
This part of the discussion, they're talking about what your response would be if your girl decided to have an OnlyFans account. Andrew is approaching the position of a man who's principled.
Okay, like I said, whenever somebody does OnlyFans, it's because there's what does that come from? Like, it can be a lot of things of why they would do it. Only money or some sort of fulfillment or whatever, right? Some sort of fulfillment, right? If they're doing it because they're lacking something in the relationship, they're taking something away from the relationship, yeah, that's a fucking problem. I guess break up. If I'm that uncomfortable.
You see, it's a respect factor as to why a man who is principled is not going to tolerate a woman who is openly marketing herself on the internet. What X decided to do was he decided to then try to, I would call this fake masculinity, try to rationalize this. Oh, well, it could be for many different reasons. There's many different reasons why she could do it. This is a feminine mindset. Women are always going to justify her indiscretions. She's always going to try to justify her bad decisions and her wild behavior. They love men like this. They love men who try to come up with reasons for her as to why she engages in foolishness. If a chick wants to do OnlyFans, she can do that, but she can also do that while she's single. Like this is what I mean by a beta male mindset. He has nothing that governs himself. He has nothing that he can hold her accountable with. You see what I'm saying? There is nothing in his makeup and in his honor system, his structure system, that's going to automatically hold a woman that he's dealing with accountable for her decisions. They're always going to find a reason to keep her around because they're too weak to just let her go simply because she doesn't respect him.
Sad broke up.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, the point is I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and if my girlfriend did OnlyFans and made $2, she would pay me my $1. And that's because it's principle. It's not
principle, yeah.
Okay, bro. Yeah, still fair enough. But you can't, in my opinion, that the nature of that behavior of putting a dollar amount because of some lack of whatever the fuck
about the
is
fucking
stupid.
money.
It's an alarming logical conclusion.
Andrew made a controversial statement by saying that if his girl is going to do OnlyFans, then she's going to pay him a percentage of the proceedings or whatever. Like, she's going to literally give him a cut of the money that she makes on that platform. And see, what he doesn't understand is he relegates that to him viewing her as his property. It's not necessarily that he views her as his property. It's the principle of the matter. If I'm in a relationship with you and the assumption is that you are exclusive to me, but you are then marketing yourself an act that is not exclusive, it's inclusive. You're marketing yourself to the rest of the world and other men. Those men are getting even just a piece of you, something that's meant to be for me and me alone. I'm going to be compensated for that. He doesn't understand that he's more so speaking on principle rather than literally saying you're my monetary property or an asset. He doesn't understand that. And he goes off on this tangent, and it's hilarious to watch this stuff, man. He's getting caught up on the analogy and not on what it means. It is disrespectful for her to expect that he protects her, that he keeps a roof over her head, that he comforts her. All these other things that men tend to do in relationships. It is disrespectful for her to expect those things of him, but then also give parts of herself to other men or give access of herself to other men. It's disrespectful. It's the principle of it. And obviously most men with an unplugged mindset would just simply exit the relationship. Yes. However, the scenario is what is the next best step before you leave the relationship? That's where principle kicks in. Well, I mean, I'm not just going to tolerate this. So at the very least, you're going to give me a cut of that. He just doesn't understand this, man. And it's a sight to behold.
If I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway, and that's fine. And then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me. And I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit. And she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Enough. Okay.
We'll talk about insecurity when she's sucking dick.
Okay, then
responsibility with no authority. That's the average man in relationships right now. You are responsible for her, but you have no say so. That is the beta male conditioning. You are in a useful frame if you are in a relationship with a chick and she's staying with you. You're putting a roof over her head. You're putting food in her mouth. You're protecting her. You're providing for her. You're doing all these different things, but you have no say so in her comings and goings. You have no say so in her behavior. You have no corrective action or anything like that. You are a chump and you're getting used. And that is what he's talking about. This is an unplugged mindset. This is so important for you to have as a man. Like, listen, when you don't understand that when I say she can either be single or in a relationship with you, it means just that. If she wants to go out here and act like a single woman, do things on her own, put herself in precarious situations, she can do that shit. There's nothing wrong with that, but she doesn't have to be with you. And see, guys don't understand this. Guys still want to offer chicks who want to be single their commitment. And I don't understand this. They are 100% okay with paying the cost, but not being the boss. They're okay with this stuff.
When I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
That's fear.
No, it's not fear. What it is.
Okay, what is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain. I'm a territorial.
Guys coming over and bringing her home. By fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear.
Men with beta male mindsets, they look at everything through the lens of emotion. Fear is an emotion. Fear is a chemical response in your brain. Okay. That's all fear is. An unplugged mindset says you can't go here because A, it's disrespectful. 2, it's outside of the realm of my protection. So I can't guarantee that I'm going to be there if something goes down. So there's the respect factor, there's a responsibility factor. These guys will then spin that to justify their own lack of respect for themselves and the lack of respect that their woman has for them. They would then spin that and say, oh, you don't want her to do these things because you're scared, because you're fearful. Now, there might be some guys that are literally afraid that another dude's going to take their girl, but that's not the discussion. Men who are unplugged don't have that fear. We don't have a fearful bone in our body.
Now, I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration. If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do. That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are...
Most guys are the second guy. Most guys know for a fact they have no say so. And so what they try to do is, and you're not fooling anybody, but what they try to do is they try to pretend to be okay with things that no thinking man is okay with. No man is genuinely okay with this girl having an Onlyfans account. No man is genuinely okay with this girl going to the club all the time, having all these male friends. No thinking man is genuinely okay with that. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get ahead of the fact that they're the second guy. They know they have no backbone. They know they don't control the frame of the relationship. So they're trying to fool you into thinking that they're okay with those things because they know that that's the only alternative. They know they don't have enough leverage, enough pull, enough influence in that relationship to be able to say, hey, I don't agree with this. Stop doing it. They know that she's just going to tell them, I can do whatever I want. These guys know that. So these guys that try to pretend, oh, you're insecure because you don't let your girl have male friends, or you're not okay with your girl going to the club every weekend, or all this other stuff. Yeah, you're insecure, and I'm secure because I let my girl do these things. You're not letting your girl do anything. She's doing them regardless of how you feel about it because she simply has no respect for you. And you know that at your core. That's why you're okay with it. You don't make a fuss about it because you know there's no point. Don't let these guys fool you. And that's literally what it's about. It's about having a frame and establishing yourself as a man to where she understands what the deal is when she gets with you. This is why I tell guys, you let your standards be known from the beginning. I don't take girls seriously that have male friends. I don't take girls seriously that go to the club. I don't take girls seriously that do a lot of different things, right? So before you even get to the OnlyFans thing, which is way down the spectrum, it starts at smaller instances. She's always going to test her boundaries. She's always going to push her boundary. She's always going to figure out from the beginning what she can get away with by deciding what type of man you are. And most guys drop the ball on that. And I've said that before in a previous video. He's the type of dude who tries to go along with society by doing what's secure and what makes him look good, because of the political correctness of it, and it looks good on paper, and it looks good and it sounds good when people say these things. Oh yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. What they don't realize is she's chipping away at her respect for you little by little, and she sometimes doesn't even realize this. So by the time she gets to the point where she wants an OnlyFans account, you've already let her market herself in public by going to the club all the time, having all these male friends and being around all this male attention all the time. You already let her know from the beginning you're okay with her marketing herself as a single woman while being in a relationship. So of course she's going to go start an OnlyFans because you have no respect for yourself. And by virtue of that, she has no respect for you. She's going to treat you how you treat yourself. Your woman is an extension of you. So she's out here wilding out. It's not necessarily because she's bad. It's because you're weak.
That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that you've yet.
If I see a girl that's wilding out, I come to two conclusions. Either she's single or she's in a relationship with a weak framed man. Those are the only two outcomes. Again, she's going to push the boundaries. Girls don't just start off wilding out. Now, some of them do. Let's just be honest. Some girls are just in this culture. They're just conditioned to behave that way. But for the most part, man, a lot of you guys in these relationships, man, by the time your girl starts to act crazy and do all this other stuff and wants to do all these other things that are disrespectful towards you, it's because you've allowed it. It's because you've gone through a series of acts of disrespect without checking them. And they're always going to start small. And it goes back to principle. Men who don't understand principle let these small acts of disrespect boil over to the point to where she wants an OnlyFans account. So she wants to market herself to other men. it gets to that point because you fail to address those little small instances of disrespect. You don't consider it to be disrespectful because you operate in an emotional frame. You look at, does this make me mad or not? You're looking at what the emotional response is versus the principle of it. And this is why it's so important to have an unplugged mindset and to get away from that beta male conditioning that most men are under. And it's difficult to have this conversation with men like this because they don't understand that. By the time she wants to do the bad stuff, it's because you've let the less than bad stuff go unchecked.
What makes you above her then? The money, the status, the top G? What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whenever the fuck I want.
Okay, then.
That's another beta male mindset. We function very differently as men and women. It doesn't make her inferior to me, but we're not on the same level. Again, they go with the politically correct message. They go with whatever sounds good, the societal message. They have this mindset of anything I can do, she can also do. And that's where a lot of guys go wrong in relationships. Oh, well, if I don't go to the club or she doesn't go to the club, then I can't either. Like these guys miss the point. They totally miss the point when it comes to just the respect and dynamic of a relationship. The boss gets paid more because he started the company. The boss can take trips and be gone for 2 weeks at an end because he's the boss. He leads. Employees can't do that. They still play a vital role in that company, but the rules don't apply, and these guys don't understand.
There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do, and she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss. That is happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. In every relationship, someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships, and I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her.
But
the reason why it's so difficult for these guys to understand that men are supposed to be in a leadership role is because they were never taught this, and they spent their entire lives deferring to her authority. Again, beta male mindset. A man with a beta male mindset is comfortable in a scenario where a woman has headship over him. He doesn't find anything wrong with that scenario. And so when Tate is saying some men are comfortable being mothered by their girlfriends and caught up by their girlfriends and being led by their girlfriends, he's talking about this type of dude. This is why X said that it's illogical. It's only illogical to an unprincipled man. He can't fathom a reality where he has sole leadership in a relationship because he's never had that. Most men have never had that. He's either been coddled by a child by a domineering woman his entire life. His mother, probably older siblings that were females, probably female supervisors, domineering girlfriends. He's always been in a position to where he's had to answer to a woman. And so it's illogical for him to ever accept a reality where he has sole leadership of a relationship and of itself. That's why it's illogical to guys like this.
Let me blow your mind. Let's change the quick trajectory. Let me blow your mind. If your woman was truly fulfilled by you and she truly loved you, she wouldn't give a fuck about a club. She wouldn't even want to go.
Oh God,
that's the truth. I don't have to argue with my women about going to the club.
That is so true, bro.
Then she's not allowed to go to the bowling alley then.
They will come.
They'll
come to me and say, "Can I go to the club with all my friends?" And say, "Not without me." She'll say, "Okay, baby," and that's it. It's really not an argument. It's not hard because she's fulfilled in other ways. Now, if she didn't respect me and she wasn't fulfilled in other ways, then of course she'd argue. Then that club would become important. But to her,
then can you? Okay, I understand. Then can she go to laser tag?
Sure, she can go laser tag. I don't give a fuck. It's no problem. But it's not about that. It's about the scenario.
What if she sees an absolute lion Chad way more than at the club, some big, tough, muscular guy that looks better than you and is more into then what?
Good. Then fine.
Then you park your Lambo in the hood and your Lambo it's getting taken. Now you say good. So the club is parked there. Laser tag parking is good. How?
Incorrect. Because laser tag is not invented for people to fuck. The only reason clubs even exist. The only reason clubs even exist, and I'll tell you why, the basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females.
Yes.
If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground. She can go.
This man say. But I mean, but that's the main environment of certain things. But if you got a girl that wants to go into an environment that's, for all intents and purposes, a sexually charged environment, you need to find yourself a new girl. Because why did she want to go there in the first place? Because then you might say, maybe she just wants to have fun with her friends. Maybe this, maybe that. Okay, granted, well, I'll grant you that. But here's the thing: if you have a girl who has a group of friends, all that collective femininity, all that collective intelligence, all that collective creative energy, if the only thing they can come up with is the club to have fun, your girl needs a new group of friends. You like, if that's the only venue that they can decide on, out of all of them, she needs a new group of friends. That's the reality. And you likely need a new girl. You need to keep company with better women. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, yo, X and Tate, listen, can we get to this next topic, the whole having a girl, having a guy best friend?
See, this male friends thing, it's been a topic that's been popular in the manosphere for a long time. I had a video on TikTok that had over 7 million views talking about this male friends issue. And I will reiterate what I said in that video. Women know these guys are trying to sleep with them. They're not stupid. They are fully aware that these guys are trying to sleep with them. That's the bottom line. So if you got a girl that wants male friends, desires male friends, has male friends, all these guys hovering around her, she knows what she's doing. Period. Do whatever you want with that information.
Point is that I don't think that when a woman and a man are purely just friends without, let's say, a financial
Yo,
motive,
shout out
any
other
kind of
debate
work motive,
topics
they're
y'all
purely
have.
just friends. I don't think that's a platonic relationship. I think the man is interested in her most of the time. And when people disagree with me that, I said, then why do all the hot girls have so many friends and all the ugly girls don't have any? The men are trying to get laid, and for her to sit there and entertain it and pretend that's not the case. Oh no, he's just my friend. She knows what's going on. It's bullshit.
X, I have a question. Sorry.
This is my point. The point is that I don't think that most male-female friendships are truly and utterly completely platonic. I think if any woman's honest, she'll admit that too. And for the same reason I discussed earlier, while I wouldn't let someone attempt to break into my Lambo, I would not let some man come along under the shield, under the guise of friend. I'm not gonna let some dude come along, put on a friend hat, and try it on with my chick permanently. That's bullshit. And she shouldn't want that either. She should say, this guy obviously wants more. I'm not talking to him. Or I'll talk to him only at work for X event. That's it. And I know these views for some reason. I don't know why these views are extreme. Because
these are not. The rest of them are kind of extreme.
And honestly, that sums up this entire male friends issue. If you have a girlfriend, these male friends, these dudes that they be hanging out with, they don't care about you. They're not genuinely concerned about her personal love life or whether you're a good guy or not. Those guys are waiting for an opportunity. And that sums it up perfectly. Anybody who wants something to do with her but nothing to do with me, I view them as an enemy. And he's about to show you how you perfectly handle situations where your girl has a male friend.
What if she already had a friend before you, like years ago?
Understood. I've been with women and they've had a friend for a very long time, but I make it very clear to him, look, he clearly likes you. And if she's honest, she'll like, yeah, I know. I keep my arm's length. And she's very honest and open with me about it. Oh, he just texts me trying to get me to go out. I'm not going to reply to him. And she'll distance herself on purpose. And she'll make it very, very clear that she's in love with me. And she'll keep him where he belongs, very, 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 very firmly in the friend zone with no hope. Because that's her job to do. I don't have to tell her to do that. Now, if I have to come along to a chick and say, you're giving this guy too much, stop texting him. If I have to do that, then she doesn't respect me and I'm not going to be in that relationship. I'm not going to sit there and police her phone. She'll self-police out of respect for me. If she's not doing it, she's not self-policing, then she clearly doesn't respect me very much. And I need to understand the chessboard.
Part of the beta male mindset doesn't understand female nature.
It has to be because you are something, not because you did something and you got me, because you are something. That's how you reach fulfillment in a relationship. You're with somebody who's with you because of you, and you're them because of they are them. Why?
They over-romanticize the ideal of love. They over-romanticize the ideal of relationships, etc., etc. What these guys fail to understand is there's always a condition for a woman's attachment to you, for a woman's affection for you, love for you, whatever you want to call it. These guys don't understand that.
Your achievements is a small thing. Being successful isn't.
Hold up,
not in the realm of a man. In the realm of a man, your achievements are 85% of all of who you are. As a man, you are judged solely on your status. You don't even have to be good looking. You need to be important. And
they believe that her attachment to you comes from this overly romanticized feelings and chemistry and all this other nonsense. He doesn't understand by him posing that question, well, what happens when you aren't all of these great? What happens when you're no longer able to slay the dragon and all these other things that attracted her to you in the first place? He asks these questions in a way to where basically to diminish its importance. Well, those things make you who you are, right? He doesn't understand that her attachment to you is through you being able to accomplish all these great feats. He doesn't understand that part of who you are as a man is what you do, what you've accomplished, your life goals, your aspirations, your achievements. Men with beta male mindsets believe that her attachment comes through her feelings for you. But he doesn't understand her feelings for you are attached to what you do, what you've achieved, how you make her feel, and how your achievements and your goals make her feel. He doesn't understand all those things are intertwined. He's trying to separate those two things as if they're not important. Those things are extremely important. This is why a lot of these guys end up blindsided in relationships. These guys don't understand that. They don't understand the masculine burden of performance. These guys still believe in the Disney lie of her everlasting love for you. Her love is always attached to who you are and what you do. The moment you stop becoming the things that she fell in love with, that is the moment she falls out of love with you. Her attachment to you, her love for you, and all these other fictional ideas, these things are always conditional, and the beta male does not understand this.
Maybe unusual to an American audience, right? But I live in Romania. So in Romania, if you go to a club and she's not with a man, she's single. The idea that a woman has a boyfriend and goes to the club without her boyfriend is literally, it doesn't exist. So you see women with their men and you see women standing on their own and everyone knows they're the single ones. It's impossible for a girl to have a boyfriend and still go out. That's just the societal norm. Same in Russia, same in most of Eastern Europe, same in all of Asia, same in the Middle East, same in Africa, same in most of the world.
That's cultural shit, comparing the East, the West, Middle Eastern.
Cultures. We're comparing cultures now.
That just shows you how he's not listening, because that's literally the point. And I'm glad it went to this point as well. It's a cultural thing, man. You have to understand this society conditions men to adopt the beta male mindset. This is a Western thing. Most guys, if you're unplugged, you understand that this is a Western problem. And most men are looking for women and looking for relationships outside of the Western culture. We're looking for that environment, and you will be hard pressed to find that over here. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Over here in the West, or countries who are under Western influence, because you can go somewhere else and still be in a Western society if they have the internet, if they have Western media, TV, music. You're basically trading in walnuts for almonds. I mean, you're basically getting the same thing.
Western United States is a country with the highest divorce rate, the most suicidal males, girls are sleeping with the most men, the most porn stars, the most fucking OF, the cam, and all this other trash. You're going to try and defend the society which is the most degenerate on the fucking planet?
It's dysfunctional. I mean, that's literally, it's dysfunctional. It doesn't work. The system is broken. And men with beta male mindsets are proliferating this system.
There's nothing fucking respectable about.
Well, I live in here. I don't have any other choice. I like living here. I live here. That's about it. End of story. I'm not gonna fucking.
My ideas are not unusual most places on the planet. They may be unusual to an American audience in a degrading society full of disgusting.
Okay. With this mindset, you the girl of your dreams is actually not even alive right now. She's probably stuck in the fucking cave ages. Your soulmate or best fit is in the fucking -2 million or some shit.
This is what Morpheus said about people who are so inured by the system. People like this believe that your ideas and your values and the things that you hold dear and your basic understanding of how things should go, they believe that your ideas are just so far-fetched and they're just this past time where people were evil and the cavemans and all this other stuff. This mindset is like just a person being so inured, so indoctrinated by the system to where they just accept the system. Oh, well, I'm born here and there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just here. It's okay to be in the world, just don't be of the world. You can live in American and Western societies but not adopt a Western mindset, to not adopt a beta male mindset. You have to understand that there are societies and people and women who value what you value, who understand how things should function, who embrace that wholeheartedly. And it's your job to go seek them out. It's your job to cultivate an environment to where you can accept that into your life.
You want to pretend my question is not very reasonable, even though it is, because we're talking about masculine duty and authority and responsibilities. It's a hypothetical, so let me change it. You and your woman are asleep in bed upstairs. You hear someone break into the house downstairs. Who goes downstairs?
Nobody.
Tripping. XQ, you tripping. Hold on. XQ, so you're not going down there?
Nobody's going down there.
So what if they come upstairs?
Bro, you gotta protect.
Bro, I'll keep it $150
Protect?
real quick.
Protect?
Real quick. I'll keep it $150.
No. My job is to survive, not protect. My job is to survive. And sometimes that means to go down there, the guy's a gun. It doesn't matter.
That's
what
not
the
very
fuck I do.
courageous of you, bro.
We are both going down by doing the smart thing, the analytical thing, the strategic thing. We can both survive. If I go down, not only am I jeopardizing myself, I am jeopardizing both of us by not being smart and a leader in that regard. We are even more in danger if I go down than if I not go down.
I mean, that last question was a really good point to end on, man. That's just, like I say, that's just the beta male mindset as a whole. A complete disregard for masculinity, a lack of understanding of the masculine burden of performance, just totally detached from what your calling is as a man and who you are genetically predisposed to be and what you were created to do. You know, this man said his job is not to protect, it's to survive. We've had enough examples of what I mean by a beta male mindset, and luckily we got to see Andrew Tate in that discussion, who is by no means perfect. Dude says some crazy stuff, but if I had to describe Andrew Tate in one word, I would say necessary. The same way I would have described Kevin Samuels, rest in peace, and a lot of other male content creators. These guys are necessary. Men who discuss these issues and men who go against the grain and call out the filth that is the mindsets of this society and the conditioning and how it poisons the minds of, you see other men who are also in influential positions, even though it's the first time I'm hearing about this dude. But he represents the average man in this society, or should I say male in this society. You know, QXC, I think his name is. Yeah, QXC. He represents the average man in this society. Totally detached, totally plugged in. You know, when you hear guys say things like, you know, money and status and all this other stuff doesn't make you powerful, it doesn't make you a man. That's the example right here. Dude's he's a streamer. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of influence. I'm pretty sure they pay him well. It doesn't make you anything but an agent. You're just an agent that has influence over other men that you're probably going to lead into your beta male mindset. Just understand what you're up against, dude. Understand what you're up against. Demand better for yourself. That's all you really can do. That's all for today, man. But until next time, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.